What would happen if just for 1 month you stopped competing with those around you and you focused all your energy on being better than the person you were yesterday? Welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sanj, your host and mindset coach, and I'm here to help you go from just surviving to truly thriving in every area of your life. And today I'm going to be talking about a topic which, although we know, we don't actually practice, and that is understanding why your biggest competition isn't out there. It's not the people around you somewhere, but it's right there within yourself. You are your biggest competition. And Steve Young once said the principle is competing against yourself. It's about self-improvement, about being better than you were the day before. Hopefully, by the end of this episode, you'll see that shifting your focus from competing with those around you to competing with yourself is one of the most powerful ways in which you can grow. It's one of the best ways you can find fulfillment, and it's the number one way you can unlock your full potential. It's so easy to get caught up with those around you, what they have, what they're doing, especially with social media, with all the pictures posted, with all the comments and everything, people showing their perfect lives, and you're there trying to compete. You're trying to live up to it. You're trying to keep up with the Joneses. But how do you think that is actually bettering your life? You're not bettering your life by comparing yourself to them. All you're doing is actually robbing yourself of happiness. You're robbing yourself of joy. You're robbing yourself of a life that you truly love. All you're doing is making yourself feel worse. So today I'm going to be talking about why we think competition is something external when the biggest competition is actually within yourself. I'm going to be talking about how, when focusing on self-competition, that is a surefire way not only to improve, but it's a way to succeed. And I'll be giving you 3 ways where competing yourself can lead to growth and long-term success. So let's start. Whether we've thought about this question consciously or not, why do we tend to believe our competition is always out there? Why do you constantly believe that your competition is your co-workers, your peers, your strangers on social media, your friends? If you think about it, you're there competing with your co-worker for the promotion. But actually, if you forgot about that co-worker, rather than wondering what they're doing, how they're trying to get the promotion, if you focused on yourself, if you focused on your progress, on competing with how good you were yesterday, and you focus on being better than that person, you would be constantly improving. It would be a never-ending cycle. And the reason we do believe that why the competition is out there is because we live in a society, as I said, that celebrates comparison. With Instagram, with TikTok, with Facebook, we're surrounded by performance metrics, rankings, and highlight reels on social media that make it easy to believe that you're always in a race against someone else. Almost 3/4 of people feel pressure to keep up with those around them just because of social media alone. But the reality is, the greatest challenge isn't surpassing someone else. It's overcoming your own limitations, your own doubts, your own fears. Because when you focus too much on the external competition, you're measuring yourself against a standard that may not even be right for you. You're comparing yourself to someone else's definition of success. And in doing that, you may lose sight of your unique path, your growth, your potential, because you're too busy following someone else's path. When you think of success in terms of only beating others, you end up chasing goals that may not even matter to you. You may end up living a life where you're just not excited about it, and it can create a constant feeling of not enough because you're constantly competing with someone doing something that doesn't light you up. You're constantly trying to be someone you're not. You're constantly trying to get the latest phone, the latest car, the nicest house, whatever. And really, your success, you being the best version of you, could be you focusing on being the best parent, you being the healthiest version of you so you can play with your kids. When you feel like you're not doing enough, you're not smart enough, you're not accomplished enough, you can feel like that when comparing yourself to those who are doing things that you don't want to do. You can always feel like that because you may not want to be doing those things. You may not want to be a smart person. You may want to be a creative person. You may not be accomplished in the ways of academics. You may be accomplished in the ways of, say, being an amazing parent. You may not be doing enough in one area. No, because you're focusing on another area. So what if instead of looking sideways, you look inwards and you shift your focus from how do I stack up against them to how am I going to stack up against who I was yesterday? Because when you start to turn the lens back onto yourself and you make self-competition your primary focus, that's when everything changes for you. When you compete with yourself, you set your own standard for success. You're not living up to someone else's. You're not trying to actually better yourself than someone else. You're not living up to anyone else's expectations. You're not measuring yourself against their values. You're doing your own thing. You're creating a personal blueprint for growth, something that's sustainable, something that's fulfilling, something that's motivating to you. And when you focus on improving yourself rather than outdoing others, you actually start to experience real progress and real satisfaction. 2025 is right around the corner. Where are you going to start actually changing your motivation? Why don't you set yourself a New Year's resolution to be better than who you were in 2024? When you make this shift mentally, it's huge. Competing with yourself boosts your self-esteem because your progress is no longer about comparison, it's about growth. Think about it. When you focus on personal growth over external competition, you're actually going to be more satisfied because you're just improving against who you were. And actually, when you start to build up that self-satisfaction, you're going to build up that self-confidence. You're going to become more resilient when facing those tough moments in life. When you're competing with yourself, you will celebrate those small wins because you're noticing that you're making progress. If you're comparing yourself to someone else who's on a different trajectory to you, you may still feel bad because you're not where they are. Imagine how much this effect has over time if every day you're making a 1% improvement. By the end of the year, you will be 37 times better. That's a compound effect of focusing on self-growth. And there is so many successful people who emphasize this. They understand that real success is not built on the comparison with others. It's actually built on relentless self-improvement, committing to yourself. Competing with yourself, though, doesn't just lead to growth. It leads to a more positive mindset. You become motivated by the idea of becoming a little bit better, a little bit more skilled, a little bit more fulfilled each day. And that inner motivation is far more powerful than any external reward. Can you imagine waking up excited, energized, and enthusiastic about starting your day because you know that by the end of it, you're going to be better than who you were this morning? But how does competing with yourself actually make you a better person? It has three big things which it does. And the first is, as I said, it builds confidence and resilience. When you're competing with yourself, it strengthens your confidence and it improves your resilience because when you focus on your own growth, you learn to embrace your unique journey. Every time you improve, you build confidence because you're seeing the proof that you're capable of more than you ever thought. Every time you overcome a setback, you build resilience and again your confidence grows. Think about it. How many times when you look back, when you see how much you've achieved, how far you've come, how does that make you feel? When you compete with yourself, every failure becomes a lesson. It isn't a loss. You're not just working towards a goal, you're building mental toughness along the way. And this is what prepares you to handle the challenges, to overcome the obstacles, and to be even more successful than you thought possible. The next thing it does is it increases your focus and your productivity. Because when you're competing against yourself, you become laser focused on how your own actions and your own habits impact you. You start asking, how can I be more efficient? How can I learn more? How can I create more value today than I did yesterday? By focusing on this, it naturally boosts your productivity because you're not concerned with everyone around you. You're only concerned with your progress. It doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. It only matters what action you're taking. When you set personal improvement goals, you actually have more productivity than those people who are externally motivated. What could that change in your life? Where could it make huge difference for you? Finally, this third one is the biggest one, and I believe it with all my heart, and it has made such a difference in my life. It builds a growth mindset, because when you're focused on your personal progress, you develop a growth mindset, which means that you believe that abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. You don't get discouraged by challenges. You see them as opportunities to improve. When you have that growth mindset, you're more likely to put in the effort, because you know that actually the more effort you put in, the more you will get out of it. You're almost 50% more likely to reach your personal and professional goals if you've got a growth mindset, because you're driven by learning and improvement, not by comparison or fear of failure. When you're only competing with yourself, you're constantly looking for ways to evolve and not just prove yourself to those around you. So remember, you are your greatest source of competition, and your only job is to be better than who you were yesterday. There is a freedom of letting go of the need to win against those around you. When you just start to focus on being better than you were yesterday, when you create a journey of just continuous growth and never-ending improvement, something with fulfillment, that's a journey that no one can take away from you. So what is one small thing you can do today that will make you better than you were yesterday? Learning something new, maybe reading, practicing a skill, taking care of your health, whatever it is, commit to it. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. For 1 month, stick to one skill and build on it and see what difference it makes. Greatness is not about beating others. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. So thank you for tuning in today to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I hope you feel inspired to start your own journey of self-competition and self-growth. And if you found today's episode valuable, please share it with a friend and leave us a review. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button again so you never miss an episode packed with tools to help you live a more fulfilling life. Remember, the only person you need to beat is the one you were yesterday. So go out there and compete with yourself and become unstoppable. Thank you. And until next time, keep seeking, keep growing, and keep mastering your mindset to master your life.